Hey guys, what's up? Hey, it's Brittany. I'm owner of Rose and Rebel Beauty, and I wanted to hop on today to compare a couple foundations that I have laying around to see how they do. I want to compare them to my own brand of Rose and Rebel Beauty, and as if you've been following in some of my other videos, you know that I have worn thousands of dollars worth of foundation because I just cannot find one that works for me, and that prompted me to create my own brand. And so I wanted to just kind of let you guys see how it stacks up to some of the foundations that other people are wearing. Today we are going to do my foundation from Rose and Rebel Beauty against Fenty Long Wear Pro Filter Foundation. I have worn both for a long time. I was wearing Fenty before I created my own brand. And price comparison, they are very close. With the comparison on what they are supposed to do, they are very close, and as you can see, pretty much very close in color. So we will test them out. Now, the only thing I've done to my face currently right now is washed it, so I wanted to show you guys the steps of how I prep my skin so you know that I did both sides equally. I'm going to do one side Rose and Rebel Beauty and one side Fenty. So all I've done is wash, so my next step would be to tone, and I like to use the Glam Glow toner. Let me just grab this here. And what this does is it closes the pores. It resets the skin after you strip it and everything, and kind of just helps calm the skin down. You can see I have a lot of redness, so I'm also going to test putting on some concealer underneath the foundation, because y'all know that some foundations don't mix when you put other products on the skin, so we're going to test that. And we're just going to do a full face amount foundation just so you guys can see what it looks like. And you don't forget the neck as well. So I've also had some problem areas pop up here recently, so we will see how they cover those. So there is that. My next step, because I'm feeling awfully dry now, is to do a face oil. This is number 7 face oil. I just take this little dropper and do about 4 drops in my hand. And I just cover the entire face. This is my morning and my evening routine. Makes my makeup look smooth, keeps it from being patchy and dry, keeps it from moving all day long. If you're not dry, you may not need this many steps, but I sure as heck am. Okay. Next step is my number 7 serum. And I just do a little here, simple here, 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 and on the neck. Just so you guys can see that I'm doing both sides equally, and my neck. And then I'm going to splurge, and I'm going to go with my Tatcha. This is the eye correcting, the pearl, and this is in Moonlight color. And this takes away the dark circles under the eyes, a lot like my highlighter, although my highlighter is a lot cheaper. But I'm going to be bougie today. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit here, like that, and go just under the eyes. I am using damp blenders for all of this. I will for both sides. I'll do a whole nother video on with brushes. I'm not a big brush person when it comes to foundation. I'm not a finger person either, so let's talk about that. So if you're very, very dry and you're putting your foundation on with your fingers are pulling all the moisture out of the foundation that you're putting on. It's not helping your skin. If you're really, really oily, your fingers probably are too. And even if you're putting on an oil-free foundation, but if you're putting it on with your fingers, then your fingers are putting oil into the foundation. If you're dry, I recommend not putting foundation on at all with your fingers. If you're oily, you can get away with it, but you want to use your ring finger to pat your foundation in. Less oil in these fingers that don't get used as much versus like these fingers. So, last step, cream, moisturizer cream. Well, not the last step. Last step to my skincare. Okay. All right. I recommend always using a primer. I'm in love with my primer, the Veil Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. It has packed with minerals, it's vegan, it's wonderful, makes your makeup stay. Shake it up here. It only takes about that much. And I put everything on the back of my hands like this, as you will notice, just to warm it up to room temperature or skin temperature, especially if it's been sitting in a cool room. It just makes it easier to put things on. Really, really good for the skin. And things that are really good for your skin, like this primer, I would much rather have in my pores than the foundation that can cause breakouts. So that's another good reason for primer. And prime down on the neck as well. Now I'm kind of in between colors right now, so these may look kind of weird. When we went to DC, I definitely got some sun. It was 100 degrees every day, so I've got some tan lines going on. I've noticed that this color is maybe a little light, but the next step up is maybe still a little dark, so it is what it is. Okay, we're letting the primer sit for a minute, kind of do its thing. I always color correct first thing to help get some of this redness out of my cheeks. If you're not this red or you don't have trouble spots, then this is probably a step that you all normally skip. But it's a very important step in my routine, so I'm gonna do it just because I wanna see how these foundations react with other things mixed in them. Most all of us use concealer, so this is a common thing. I'm just going to do my normal dots. Dot there. My nose is really red, so I normally do just a little dot on each side. I'm gonna dunk again. Just do some dots here. This is my normal concealer. It is Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in color C3. Green covers red, so I'm going to mix some green dots in with this. They used to make a stick that was so nice. It had both of these combined, and for some reason they thought it'd be a good thing to do away with it, and I cried. I'm not gonna lie, because I used it like crazy. Now I gotta manually combine them. So I just do that little bit. Now, I'm gonna take my damp beauty blender, and I'm gonna do my normal pat, pat, pat. So far, both sides are equal. They've had equal treatment. As you can see, that really toned down the redness. Blush is something I never had to buy, but now I like to tone it down and put the blush where I want it instead of just having all this redness hanging out wherever it wants to. People ask me all the time, why are you so red? Oh, it's just the way I was made. I don't know. If I'm not red, I'm dead. That's what I always say. People laugh. Okay, so we've toned down the redness. Everything is equal, and I'm just going to go right down the middle. So I'm going to do Rose and Rebel Beauty HD Liquid Foundation on this side, as you can see, well used, and my Fenty Pro Filter Longwear on this side. I was using this for several months before I even started my brand, so I know that my skin is okay with this. That's another problem I have, is I'm very sensitive. I've bought foundations, used at one time, and threw them away because they burned, they broke me out, they made me peel. I've had all kinds of nasty chemical stuff. So I know I'm okay with the Fenty. I definitely know I'm okay with my brand. My brand is vegan, it's cruelty-free, it's gluten-free, it's paraben-free, and it's got mostly minerals, oil-free, so I know I do beautiful with this brand. So I'm gonna grab my mirror here, and I'm gonna start with the Fenty first. I always do, maybe because I'm right-handed, I always do the left side of my face first. But here's the Fenty, and it's gonna go right on the back side of my hand here. That's one pump. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute. I'm just gonna dab it so it spreads out. And I always start at the bottom of my face at the jawline. And I'm gonna do my normal pat, pat, pat. And I'm gonna try really hard to remember to only do half the face and stop, because normally I continue all the way across and then work my way up. Dipping in the Fenty. Now, when I wore this, I did notice that it is buildable. It is very medium coverage, and so to get the full coverage that I like, I would have to put a couple layers on. Get above my eye there, under the eye. Get right into the hairline, and don't forget to get your ear. And as you can see, it's maybe, like I said, a little lighter than I am now, because I did recently get a bunch of sun. I don't normally do that anymore. I don't go to the tanning bed or anything like that. I'm just going to take this little bit that's left and kind of just go right in here in my problem areas again, where that red just kind of really peeks out. Give me another layer. And so I am half done now. Okay, so there is the Fenty side. It doesn't look bad. Let me see here. Maybe a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other side of my beauty blender, and I'm going to do the Rose and Rebel HD Liquid Foundation on this side. Now, when we're talking about, there's one pump, so I'm going to do the same thing, tap it out, and I'm going to start down here. So when we're talking about these foundations, they're both medium to full coverage depending on how much you put on. They are both a long wear foundation, meaning that they will last for a long time. They are both right at 1 ounce, comes in mine. Just so you know, okay, so how long does 1 ounce last you? I have been using this same container since February, and guys, do you know how much I do my makeup? Every single flipping day, sometimes twice a day, depending on if I'm making a video for you guys, whatever. I do a full face of makeup. So I have been using this same one since February, and there you go. $32 for my makeup, for my liquid foundation. This is 1.08 ounces, so just barely a little bit more, and it is $35, so very comparable in price and size. Still just tapping. And as you see, 1 pump of the Fenty did that whole side. And it looks like about 1 pump is going to do this whole side. Depending on how I want to look, if I want to look more full, sometimes it does take 2 pumps to do my face, but usually 1 pump does the whole face if I'm not looking to do a full coverage, if I'm doing more of a medium coverage. And we'll just do what's left here. Get your ear, get in your hairline. Okay, so there is the Rose and Rebel beauty side. Let me see. So one big thing I see right away is I have very large pores in here, and I don't know if you guys can see those, but they look very more defined on this side than they do on this side. But other than that, not really a whole lot of difference so far. Okay, so let's go on to the next step, and that is usually a little concealer on the high points of the face, areas that we want to define. So typically for me, that is under the eyes, and I don't go overly dramatic. Right here. Like that. And I'm just tapping this all out, one side, and we'll just see how things lay on top of it. So far, both foundations seem to lay really well over it. Now let's see how it lays under it. And you never know, some formulas don't mix. Okay, so now before any of that creases, let us set it with some Laura Mercier setting powder in translucent. And I'm just going to treat both sides the same and just go, and I'm not using a whole lot. I mean, I'm not going overboard here, and I'm not baking. I'm just setting this concealer that I just put on so it doesn't crease. Same thing, I don't like that. There, that's better. Trying to give both sides a fair shot. And I already know that both these brands perform really well. I just want you guys to see it. I contour, and so we've had cream, concealer. I'm going to do powder contour. See how powder lays on top of it. And this is my Rose and Rebel Beauty contour. And so I'll do Rose and Rebel Beauty on the Rose and Rebel Beauty side to be fair. And I will do Hoola from Benefit on the other side to be fair. So this is in color Mocha. I love this color. And I have a round face, so I don't contour very dramatically, but just enough to make it look like I have a cheekbone, because I wasn't naturally gifted with one here. See how that just went on that side? And I do just a little bit here. And I do have kind of a 5 head going on, so let's put a little up here as well. Okay. And nose. Okay, that was the Rose and Rebel Beauty contour. And let's go over to the Hoola contour now. This is a little lighter, but that's okay. You know what? It's okay. I have a darker Hoola, but who knows where it's at. Works just fine. So same thing, I do just under the cheekbone and just by the eye, and see how that kind of just, and again on the forehead up here. You know what, let's just go all up, do down here as well. Now, if you get too much build, you can always do what they call veil and just kind of disperse the product so it's not so harsh. And then I'm going to do a little bit under my lip here, I like to do, just to make my lip look a little bit bigger. Perfect. Okay, so now let us do a little bit of blush. Same blush on both sides. This is Benefit blush. I love this blush. Whew. And like I said, I cover up the redness so then I can put the redness where I want it. And I will just veil this out a little bit. Okay. And let's do a little highlight action. Let's do my Anastasia highlight glow kit in sugar, and I'm going to do the color Marshmallow. I love this color right here. I'm just going to do a little here and here. Okay. Now, this is my normal routine. At this point, I would set it with a setting spray and I would be done, minus my eyes and lips. So this is my face for the day. And so I have Fenty on this side, and here's what she looks like. And I have Rose and Rebel Beauty on this side. And that's what she looks like. So let me get a close-up here. So again, I really don't see much of a difference. I've got really big pores again, and that's a lot why I use the toner to kind of shrink those pores, but as you can see, they're kind of very pronounced on this side and softer on this side. But really, both sides have good coverage. Both sides took the concealer well, took the powder well, took the highlighter well, took the contour well. Both sides blended really well. From experience, I will tell you, I have another video on here where after a 12-hour shift I sat down with the Fenty on and looked crazy and showed you guys. So I know this moved quite a bit on my face, and this day in and day out I can count on still being here once I set it at the end of the day. So that is one thing that I do have experience on with my brand, but really both are very close to each other in price point, in fluid ounces, in wear, and in the way that they go on your face. So I just wanted to give you guys that information. You can do with it what you want, with what you please, but my brand is very comparable to popular brands out there today that are doing very, very well, and my formula is the bomb. And I just wanted to kind of come on and show you guys, because I know you physically can't play with it like I can, so I wanted to just come on and give you guys those tidbits also. And if you want to try my foundation, everything is ordered through my website, so click on the link and go to my website. I don't keep any stock. I keep just enough that if you guys do want a sample though, because you're not sure what color you are, hit me up. I can mail you a sample. But otherwise, I don't physically have any of the stock. My lab makes them the moment you order, so they are fresh for you guys. They haven't been sitting on a shelf for months or who knows how long. So order through my website, give this video a comment, like, thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my YouTube. Let me guys know that you like this content, and we'll keep doing more, and maybe we'll come up with something fun the next time. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.